Good afternoon. Welcome to Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. How's everybody doing today? The chat is up and running. What's going on, people? Staying out of trouble? I am. That's because it's the dead of winter and I'm hiding out indoors. Can't get into no trouble indoors. At least not now. So what's on your mind today? What do you guys want to talk about? Afternoon Chat, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A free show. No midstream ads, no sponsors. I'm not coming out with a line of merch. I'm not running for political office. I have no set agenda for this show other than to get you guys to jump in the chat and become our guest stars for the day. What do you guys want to talk about? I went down a rabbit hole yesterday. I don't want to do it again today. You guys are in charge. If you want to chat, you need to go to youtube.com and download the free Discord app. That will enable you to be able to chat. This show is not chasing your wallet. Everything is free. The only real rule here is we need to follow the community guidelines that have been established by YouTube. It's the only platform we're on. We got to not piss them off. That's it. Yeah, it's probably, I don't know, in the 20s out there with a light breeze. I'm not going out today. Not much going on. I watched a little bit of news this morning, but didn't see anything worth mentioning. What's on your mind? Yeah, I do need to tell people, or ask people, I should say, to like and subscribe to the show. Evidently, that'll help the algorithm somehow sort us out and put us in front of more people. I'm not sure who all YouTube is marketing us to. I glanced through the analytics, but I didn't get any real information. Other than I did see that most of the viewers are coming from TV versus a phone or a laptop. I have no idea what that means. Okay. I have no clue. It's not like I know what I'm doing, folks. I'm actually depending on the people in the chat to keep me on the straight and narrow, on the path to success. I'm not even sure what success is in a free show. You can't put a monetary value on it, so define success for me, if you would. We're getting views, we're getting subscribers, slow but sure. I think I've been doing this for I think Christmas will be 4 months. Speaking of Christmas, there won't be an afternoon chat on Christmas Day. I'm going to take the day off. Sorry. I took Thanksgiving off. I'm going to take Christmas off. That's about it. I want the show to be, reliable, dependable, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5, right? I figure that's the least I can do is try to be reliable, be there 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. I can't figure out what else to do. I want to take the day off so I can watch my football team. I guess I could get a guest to fill in for me, but it's going to be kind of hard. I don't have a studio. This is my living room. So, well, if I went and rented a studio or something, or, hired a production staff, the show couldn't be free. And I want the show to be free. Personal preference. Yeah, I'm smoking cigarettes. Try to get past it. I do. Hey, it's the only vice I have left, really. Smoking cigarettes and marijuana. And I'm in Michigan, so those are legal here. For now, anyways. Well, as legal as they can get. I'm not recommending you do either. I'm not trying to be a bad influence on anybody. But on the other hand, I'm not trying to be a good influence on anybody either. So jump in the chat. Tell me what's on your mind today. Where are you from? What's atop your priority list, Well, the days are getting shorter. We're on the downhill side of winter. You can't tell it yet, but the days are starting to get a little bit longer. We reached the winter solstice, and now we're moving forward. It's still, I don't know, it's dark by 6 o'clock here. We had some freezing rain yesterday. It's my understanding it's pretty slippery out there, so I'm staying indoors. Avoid it. Yeah, I'm still just in t-shirts. If I was going outside, I'd be wearing long johns. But it's toasty warm in here. And I'm still drinking Dr. Pepper. I haven't gotten to my Gatorade yet. It's on deck. Yeah, I was watching TMZ just before the show. I don't know. They locked Harvey and Charles in a closet somewhere or something and didn't see either one of them. And I didn't hear whatever happened to them. So they're probably on vacation or something. It's Thursday, so generally on Thursdays, we get an advanced injury report for the NFL. So after the stream, I'll probably be eating dinner and watching Mike Kimber to get the latest on the injuries. I'm a Detroit Lions football fan. I suppose I could talk to you about the Michigan head coach. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's bad news. It seems that the coach is had a moral lapse. And that's not a good thing when you're supposedly the leader of young people. I think from as I understand it, and I don't have all the facts, but it appears that he had an affair. The Board of Regents fired him with cause. And it's my understanding that immediately following that, he went and did some type of personal actions that got him arrested. Well, it's not a good thing. Got a lot of people's lives in disarray right now, in my opinion. I think divorce would be the least of his problems. Well, where's he going to work next? You know, I don't envy his position. But this is what happens to human beings. We make poor choices from time to time. As we make poor choices, we screw up our lives and the lives of those around us. All we can do is hope for the best, hope he learns his lesson and moves forward, puts his life back together as best he can. Well, this is part of being tolerant, is you have to understand that human beings are not perfect. You need to cut them some slack. You need to be forgiving. There's a lot of young people that have signed to attend that college that were depending on him, and he let them all down. Talk about stress in your life. I think he's currently cornered the market. That's the way it appears to me. He's got a little bit of stress. He's got to deal with it. My personal opinion, I literally, I'll say a minimum of once a year, I sit down and I make a list, 2 columns, positive influences on my life, negative influences on my life. And then I use that list to schedule my time. I consciously find more time for the positive column. Positive influences on my life are worth my time. At the same time, I consciously find less time. I schedule less time for the negative influences on my life. Eventually, the negative column will disappear. That negative column will no longer be in your life. I learned that, the late 80s sometime. Late 80s. Had to be the late 80s. It's just something that successful people do. Focus your efforts on the things that benefit you. It works for me. The negative influences on my life starts with people that lie. I don't have any liars in my life. Drop them like a hot rock. They cannot be trusted. In my opinion. Feel free to disagree. I mean, jump in the chat. Straighten me out here. Voice your opinion. That's what this show's all about. I don't have the answers to everything, but I'm old enough that I've figured a few things out, and I'm happy to share when I can. If you want to talk about something I don't know anything about, you're welcome to. I'm willing to learn. Educate me. In my opinion, anyone that lies to you is a negative influence on your life. If that includes a spouse, so be it. You got to speak honestly with people. Keep it 100. That's what the kids say now, right? I try to never lie to people. There's a couple caveats there. It's a fine line between being completely honest and being downright hurtful sometimes. Sometimes you got to watch what you're saying or alter what you're saying, what you're trying to imply, to keep from being a hurtful or vengeful person. Liars don't make it in my life. Maybe you have them around you and yours. If so, I'm sorry. If I were you, I'd try to change that. But you're in control of your life. You pick your own path. It's not up to me to lead you down your future's path. I mean, make your own calls, make your own decisions. That's what I do. I've made plenty of poor choices in my lifetime, let me tell you. Okay. I look at it as reality. Deal with it. Correct what you can, accept what you can't change. Except within reason. I can still close and lock my front door and keep that stuff outside of my home. By design. It's a matter of self-preservation, protecting yourself. In my opinion. I've dealt with a lot of people that lie. And I feel very satisfied in saying none of them are here now. So what do you guys want to talk about? I wish that the Detroit Lions could send one or two of their coaches over to Michigan as interim coaches to help them get through this time. There's a lot of young people on that team and in that program that they need to realize that the institution isn't going to just hang them out to dry. They're going to have to search and find a good coach. But in the interim, they need leaders that can fill in my opinion. I wish the Detroit Lions could do that. There's a lot that goes with a head coaching job, and it involves a lot of other people's lives. It's a massive responsibility. Evidently, Michigan's last coach took that and abused it. The Detroit Lions organization is a sound organization. They don't have these types of issues. I believe they are of a higher moral character. It's just a belief. I'm not involved with them. I don't know for sure, but if they could just send a couple of coaches to work with those young people in Michigan. There's a transfer portal coming up, and a lot of these players might be looking to move. They might be looking for, their second choice of schools. But right now, there's no leadership. Personal opinion. That's all I got. I worked in the casino industry most of my adult life. I moved up the ranks and eventually got into a leadership position. I took that quite seriously. I knew there were people depending on me, and I did my very best not to ever let them down. I think that's the way most of us are. We accept our responsibilities and we face them. I started out as a blackjack dealer in 82. And worked my way up to casino shift manager. I was able to mentor quite a few people in that time. Gave me a good feeling about myself. I find there's honor in teaching people and helping people. Personal opinion. I taught people how to deal. I taught people how to supervise. I taught people to do anything that I had skill in. I think that's what most of us try to do, is excel and be helpful. And when you have a mass knowledge, it's a good thing to share it with others. Well, it's like now I've been retired for 10 years and I still take the time to teach people how to play blackjack when they ask. I still take the time to teach people how to play craps when they ask. I was thinking somebody should open a players school to teach people how to play these games so that it doesn't cost them so darn much money to learn. Well, you could use your players school to also, train the employees as well as the customers. Just combine the two, in my opinion. Dealing is a skilled position, but it doesn't have a skilled pay grade. I mean, like dealers make minimum wage plus tips. That's what they made when I got in the business. That's what they made when I got out of the business. Well, it's just like being a waitress. They pay you below minimum wage, and you're relying on your tip income. I think there's a lot of positions like that, especially in our economy now. It's switching more to the gig opportunity. I talk to DoorDash drivers, and they make a little bit for their delivery, but not enough to live on. They're relying on the tip income. My personal, I like to give them a little bit on the order. I include the tip on there, but then when they get to my door, I give them a little bit of cash as well. That couple of bucks off the books will add up over time. Well, it's the difference between income and tax-free income, right? The stuff that's on the credit card, they have to report. They have to pay taxes on, just like everybody else. But if you give them a few bucks in cash, I suppose they could report it if they want. I'm not saying anyone should cheat on their taxes. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that if it helps with the cash flow, so be it. If you want to be able to change the subject or comment, you need to go to youtube.com and download the Discord app. This is an inclusive channel. Everyone is welcome. Your opinion matters. Feel free to voice it. So, what's on your mind today? What do you guys want to talk about? There's no set topic here. I spend a lot of time talking about human behavior. In my opinion, human behavior should be in the news every day. I don't think that our news broadcasts here in the United States are giving us a clear picture of reality. I think that they are grooming us. I consider our local news to be propaganda. They're tainting it. It's biased information. They're not giving us all the information. They're omitting a large number of news stories. My proof to that is the war in Ukraine. I watch a channel on YouTube. It's called The Enforcer. That's where I get all my war news. Throughout the globe, all my war news comes to me through The Enforcer. Two young men, Andrew and Matt, they're brothers. They glean social media. They go through it, they sort through it, they research what they have video evidence of, and they can prove. They put in a very fast moving storyline. What is it? Tuesday through Sunday. They go dark on Monday nights, but in my opinion, that's the best place to get the war news. They're presenting you the truth. They are biased. They are Western oriented, but they tell you that up front. They're not a typical war channel. They're not trying to gross you out or shock you. They present what they have video evidence to present. I respect it. And not just the Ukraine war, but any major war news around the globe. I watched them last night, and they showed me the war between Cambodia and Thailand. It was quite informative. I was able to see that the Cambodians don't have a shot. There's no possible way they can win this confrontation. In my opinion, they're outmanned, outgunned, outbudgeted. And when it comes to war, your budget is everything. I fully expect the Cambodians are going to give up sooner than later. As far as I'm concerned, Thailand is far more dominant, but we'll see how it works out. But I turn to the Enforcer channel and get all my war news. They covered Venezuela and as well as the Ukraine war. They did some Middle East stuff, you know. It's like I watched, I don't know, maybe 2 hours a night. It's very informative, and they have video evidence of everything that they're presenting to you. They're not making anything up, which is why I go there to get my war news. Because if you turn on Fox, they're not telling you the whole truth. If you turn on ABC, they're not telling you the whole truth. You turn on the Enforcer channel, they're telling you the truth. Whether they like it or not, they're telling you the truth. They're not trying to gross you out with the war horror stories. They're trying to present the facts, and they do it in a fast-paced manner. That's why I go there for my war news. It's called The Enforcer. I believe it's a free show. I have YouTube Premium, so I don't get commercials. So maybe they have commercials in there that I don't ever see, but I enjoy their show. It's fast paced. I put it on and I do my nightly routine of chores. You know what I mean? And listen to it. When I want to check, I go and I watch the screen and I see, you know, what they're explaining to me. And they have video evidence, so I know it's not fake. I respect those two young men. They do a fine job. They have some issues. They present factual data, and Russia, they don't like it. Okay. Russia can't be held in a good light. They're committing war crimes on a daily basis, just like the United States, except worse, in my opinion. Yes, the United States is currently conducting war crimes. Our exalted hot dog is somewhat morally and ethically deficient. In my opinion. But I'm not running around killing people. I'm not running around committing war crimes. I never had an inkling to commit a war crime. The thought never crossed my mind. Go figure. I think that's like most people. Most people are not trying to do immoral or unethical acts. I mean, are you sitting around thinking about hurting other people? I'm not. I don't think most people are. You can't tell that from watching our news here in the United States. Our news here in the United States keeps presenting people with a blown out of proportion criminal aspect of the United States. Blown out of proportion. They're exaggerating. They're trying to scare you. They want you to think there's a guy with an AR-15 on every corner in America plotting to kill you, and that's just not the case. They're exaggerating. There's not that many criminals in the United States. We've got 2 million of them already behind bars. Between federal, state, local authorities, most of the criminal population is currently behind bars. In my opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. That's why this show is here. Your opinion matters. Your opinion is respected, and we will listen. Jump in here and tell us, straighten us all out, educate us. I get my war news from the Enforcer because it is untainted, unbiased. It's not propaganda. If you're watching any of the network channels in America, they are all propaganda. All of them. They're either leaning right or they're leaning left. They're not presenting you the entire news. They are picking and choosing what they give you, and they are trying to scare you and trying to separate you into smaller groups. They use that fear to help control and manipulate you. It just simply makes it easier. When people unite, when people stand together shoulder to shoulder, they are much harder to control, much harder to manipulate. If every time you were about to make a mistake or a poor choice in your life, if you had a best friend standing shoulder to shoulder with you that said, hey, slow down, rethink this, you wouldn't make the same mistakes that you make on your own. The reason we have cities is because people get together and they collaborate. They share thoughts, ideas, and efforts. That's why we have cities. When people collaborate and they work together, they can accomplish much more than they could accomplish on their own. The workload is easier. They get more done. They build bigger and better things. You have your choice. You can collaborate with others, or you can withdraw. Stay on your own. You can still move out into the wilderness in America. You can live 50 miles from your nearest neighbor. But I'm telling you, when you do, your life gets much harder. Everything you try to do, you have to do by yourself. You get no help. Living in a city, you get help. My neighbor and I share a sidewalk. Sometimes the neighbor shovels it. Sometimes I shovel it. The sidewalk stayed shoveled. We work together to keep the sidewalk clean. Human beings work together when you put them together. That's why we have cities. That's why we have towns. If it weren't true, the cities and towns would not exist. Life gets easier when you have other people that can help you attain your goals. Plain and simple. When people unite, they are hard, or harder, I should say, harder to control, harder to manipulate, harder to separate. They want you to be scared. They want you to think that there's a bad guy on every corner. And if you listen to all of that and you let that fear control you, your quality of life goes right down the drain. If your fears are controlling you, you're curled up in the corner, afraid to walk out your front door. That's a mistake. You need to control that fear and walk out your front door. Do it right now. Open your front door, look out, point to the bad guy. Giselle Jordan. It's a true story, Giselle. A true, true story. Divided, we are easier to control and manipulate, and they are trying to control and manipulate us with fear. When a human being has uncontrolled fear, rational thinking is thrown out the window. You no longer can think of right and wrong. You can only think of protecting yourself and survival. They're telling you that the other religions, the other races, the other income levels are against you. They're not. They're just simply trying to lead their lives. They're trying to do the best they can. Everyone is trying to do the best they can. If you listen to this biased news, this propaganda that they're feeding us, you would think 50% of the population is criminal. They're not. The good guys outnumber the bad guys by a lot. Do a Google search. What percentage of the U.S. population can be considered criminal? Felony criminal. Not speeding ticket criminal. Felony criminal. Armed robberies, assaults, rapes. Felony criminals. It's never been more than 7% of the population. It's never been 8%. It's never been 6%. It holds constant at 7% of the U.S. population is felony criminal. What can we glean from that? What we can glean is 93% of us are not criminal at all. So 93 out of the next 100 people you meet on the street that are total strangers that you don't know, 93 of them are going to be good guys. They're going to be good people. They don't want you to know that. They're not telling you the facts. They're telling you the fiction they want to feed you in order to divide you. I guarantee you, the people they're telling you to hate, you shouldn't hate. The people they're telling you are bad guys aren't the bad guys. Look out your front door. Point to the bad guy. You can't. You may not like the way that guy dresses. You may not like that guy's car, but that doesn't make him a criminal. The 20-year-old that makes a mistake, he made a poor choice. He steals a car. He was bored. He was drunk. He wasn't thinking. He made a poor choice. Stealing that car, that's a felony. He winds up in jail. He does his time. He gets out on parole or probation. And now what happens? He goes on with his life. He's not 20 anymore. Now he gets a girlfriend. He has a kid. He's got a job. He's got bills to pay. He's trying to build for a future. He has a vested interest in society. He didn't have that when he was 20 and he made that dumb mistake. Is he still a felony criminal? No. He's been rehabilitated. He's come back into society, and now he's going to work hard, pay his taxes, build for his future, take care of his family, straighten out his life. He's going to collaborate with other human beings. When we collaborate, we all succeed. When we work together, we become successful. If you're failing at a project, you need help. How do you get help? Talk to people. You talk to enough people, someone will help you. This is the way our society has always worked. These people that are trying to divide you up into smaller groups, some call it tribalization. They want to separate you into smaller groups and control you with fear, and they want you to hate the other groups. Group A and Group B. They're going to tell Group A, Group B is conspiring against you. They hate your guts. They're coming for you. It's a matter of time. You better get them first. And then they go and they tell Group B the same thing. Group A's out to get you. They hate you. They don't hate you. Group A is trying to live Group A's life. Group B is trying to live Group B's life. I don't care whether this is race. I don't care if it's religion. I don't care if it's political affiliation. The other side is not out to get you. We are not a bunch of homicidal maniacs. Are you sitting around thinking about hurting other people? I'm not. If you are, you've been radicalized and you probably need to get some counseling of some type. You need some help from another human being. You cannot walk around being afraid. You must control your fears. In order to have quality of life, you must control your fears. This is what we teach our children. When a young child calls you into the bedroom, "Dad, can you leave the nightlight on? I'm scared." As a parent, I must teach this child to control his or her fears. That's my job. If you learn to control your fears, you have a better quality of life. In my opinion, feel free to disagree. Control your fears. A little bit of fear is a good thing, can keep you alive. But uncontrolled fear is a bad, bad thing. Uncontrolled fear means rational thinking is thrown out the window. You can't tell right from wrong. Rational thinking means that you control your fears. When you control your fears, you can overcome them. This is how you get quality of life. If we didn't learn to overcome our fears, we'd all be afraid of the dark. Just like that little kid, "Daddy, can you leave the nightlight on?" A little bit of fear is good. It keeps you from stepping off the edge of the cliff. It keeps you from walking down the dark alley at 3 o'clock in the morning. Little bit of fear is good, but it must be controlled fear. Uncontrolled fear, rational thinking isn't going to matter. Uncontrolled fear, the fear is in control, not your mind. Uncontrolled fear is destructive. Uncontrolled fear can tear down everything that we've been able to build. A little bit of fear is okay. It's good. It's helpful. It's necessary. But uncontrolled fear is not necessary. It's not good. It's not going to build anything. It's only going to destroy things. We all must get control of our fears. And when we have control of our fears, our news media cannot scare us to manipulate us. They cannot scare us to control us. They cannot scare us into hating other groups. They want us to hate. Well, you can't hate and be successful. Show me one thing that's been built out of hate. I can show you cities that were built on tolerance by people getting along, people ignoring their minor differences and still working together. That builds things. Hate tears things down. It doesn't build anything, and you get nothing for it. There's no prize. There's no reward. There's nothing. Anger, hate are destructive. What do you get out of your anger? What do you build with your anger? You don't build anything. You can tear things down with your anger. You can be destructive with your anger. Our society lives under an umbrella of laws and rules. We understand right and wrong. Anger that is out of control can't stay under the umbrella. Hatred that's out of control cannot stay under that umbrella. Go ahead, get mad if you want to. Be pissed off. Can you lash out? No, because if you hit somebody when you're angry, what happens? You go to jail. Consequences for your actions. You cannot build anything with that anger, but you can ruin things with that anger. Your hatred needs uncontrolled fear. If you can control your fears, you cannot hate. My opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. I mean, that's what this show's all about. Your fears, a little bit under control, are good, but not out of control. When it gets out of control, you can no longer rationally think. You can't tell right from wrong. All you can do is try to survive. That fear has control of your mind. You cannot hate people and get along with them at the same time. It's impossible. You might be able to pretend, pull a wool over somebody's eyes for a while, but your hatred will always come out in the end. Look at what prejudice does to our society. Prejudice is anchored in hatred, in an uncontrolled fear. That's what prejudice is. Look what it does to our society. If you want to be a racist and you enter corporate America, what happens? You get called into HR, okay? And then they're going to cut you loose. They're going to give you your walking papers. Why? Because you couldn't control your fear. You couldn't control your hatred. And you can't have hatred without uncontrolled fear. Your prejudice cannot survive in corporate America. It can't function in corporate America. They send you into HR. Explain yourself. Why did you? Oh, you did that out of bigotry? Bye. See ya. We can't afford your lawsuits, dumbass. Okay. That's what it boils down to. It's human nature to lash out. But you can't lash out in the workplace. You lash out in the workplace, what happens? You don't have a workplace. That's what happens. It's human nature to lash out. You can stand on your front lawn and yell at your neighbors all you want. But the minute that you walk up and smack one of them, what happens? Oh, repercussions for your actions. You're held accountable. You get thrown in jail. No, we live in a civilized society that's got laws and rules, and you're not functioning within them. You're not. It's your problem. It's not everybody else's problem. It is specifically your problem. You need to control your fear. You need to control your anger. You need to control your hatred. If you don't control them, they will control you. And you will be held accountable. That neighbor that you want to stand in the front yard and yell at, that's the guy that's going to save your life when this shit hits the fan. Go look up tsunami, or look up the floods that just happened in Texas earlier this year. When we're all standing in chin-high water, that neighbor you've been told to hate is going to be the one cruising by in a boat. The newscaster that told you to hate him, he's not going to be there. The politician that told you that he hates you, that politician's not going to be there. But your neighbor will be there. And if he's in a boat, I guarantee you he's going to help pull you out of the water. Why? Why can I guarantee that? I don't even know your neighbor. Because it's human nature to do the right thing. It's human nature to help one another. You're not going to sit there and watch a man drown. You're just not going to do it. The thought of it turns your stomach. You're going to help the guy if you're the one in the boat. If you're the one in the water, the one in the boat's going to help you. End of story. There's no further discussion there. We all always try to do the right thing. When the shit hits the fan, the people that are telling you that everyone else hates your guts and they're out to get you, those people are going to be long gone. They're going to pull a Ted Cruz, jump on a jet, and fly to a different country. They're not going to be over here in trouble with you. You're going to be the one standing in chin-high water, wishing that you hadn't ostracized your neighbor. The guy in the boat, You know, you're going to be wishing you hadn't pissed him off. You're going to be hoping he doesn't remember. You're going to be hoping he becomes more tolerant than you and he helps you out of that water. Your neighbor is your best friend that you have not met yet, in my opinion. He's the one that's going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with you, filling sandbags. He's the one that's going to be helping you clean up after the mess is over. I saw this in the casino industry when I was working in it. I saw a guy get promoted into a position and he had no clue what he was doing. And he was actually lashing out at the workers that were underneath him. About 6 months later, when he was unemployed, I saw him in the casino next door. Now he was low man on the totem pole. And guess what? Some of those people that he was mistreating when he was the supervisor, they were now the supervisor in his new job. Talk about a dish of humble pie. Boy, did that guy change. Different as night and day. He went from being an arrogant prick to a yes man in 6 months' time. Stop trying to judge your neighbor and just accept him. Be tolerant of him. Be understanding. Let him make his own life choices and you make your own life choices. I call it live and let live. I didn't come up with the phrase, but I sure can identify with it. I'm a smoker. Do you know how many people ostracize smokers in today's society? Yeah. I have long hair. Do you know how many people still ostracize people with long hair or a beard? They can't get past their prejudice. They need to become more tolerant and less judgmental. It's not your place to judge your neighbor. It's not your neighbor's place to judge you. It's okay to disagree with someone. It's okay to dislike someone. But it's not okay to hate them. Hate requires uncontrolled fear. The uncontrolled fear cannot build anything. It can only tear things down. In my opinion, feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. I'm a host. I'm here. I'm not the star. The people in the chat are the stars. The people in the chat determine what we talk about. Jump in there and change the subject anytime you like. But if you're not going to get in there and change the subject, we're stuck with wherever my mind wanders. And I'm telling you, you better unite with your fellow American. You better be more tolerant with your neighbors. And when I say neighbors, I'm talking about Mexico and Canada. They're our neighbors. You better be more tolerant with them. Why? Because when push comes to shove, They're the ones that are going to be there to help us. I keep hearing this America First garbage. Let me tell you, the America First will not work, because what you're doing is, when you're saying America is first, you're saying everyone else is second class. No, they're not second class. The Canadians are just as good as we are. The Mexicans are just as good as we are. The British, just as good as we are. The French, just as good as we are. All of them. The Russians, just as good as we are. The Russian government may be evil. They may be corrupt. I'm sure they are. But not the Russian people. Ukraine is at war. Doesn't make their people bad. Russia is at war. Doesn't make their people bad. The people are good. The governments are poor. The governments are the evil ones. Not the people. The people aren't sitting around plotting against us. We're not sitting around plotting against them. We're simply trying to live our life. They're simply trying to live their life. All human beings have a lot in common. At the same time, we are all unique individuals. Respect our uniqueness. Respect one another. Don't just value your own life. Value all lives. Why? Because that life that you are trying to disrespect and not give value to could be your next best friend. When push comes to shove, you're not going to care who's standing next to you helping you. You're just going to be thankful that they're there. I don't care if they're wearing a red hat. I don't care if it's a guy wearing a dress. You're going to be thankful they're on your side, working together with you, helping you. You don't need to hate your neighbor. You need to respect your neighbor. Be tolerant of your neighbor. Be understanding. You don't know what he's going through. You don't know what's on his plate. Maybe the guy's holding down 3 jobs, feeling more pressure than you've felt in years. Maybe the guy's dealing with death, grief. He's had a loss in the family. Maybe he's got a sick child. You don't know what's on his plate. You want to know what's on his plate? Talk to him. He'll be as open with you as you are with him. That's the way human beings are. But when you don't know what's on his plate, how can you sit in judgment over him? If you're sitting in judgment over your neighbor, guess who's the bad guy? You. You're the one sitting in judgment over other people. It's not your place. I know they're not on the same path you're on. That's allowed. They're cutting their own path. They're building their own future. That's not interfering with what you're doing. It's not interfering with your life, your future. Leave your neighbor alone. Don't pick on him. If you're standing in your front yard yelling at your neighbor, you're the one with the problem, not your neighbor. I don't care what you think he's doing is wrong. Leave him alone. What's the old saying? If you can't say something nice, keep your mouth shut. If you can't be helpful, don't be the hindrance. Don't be the roadblock to someone else's success. This show, everyone has the right to voice their opinion. This show, you can have an opinion that's different from mine. It's allowed. Not only am I going to be tolerant, I'm going to protect the people in the chat, and I'll tell you why. Because they're the guest star. They're the opinion that matters. That's why this show is here. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy meeting people. That's why I've created this show. I'm not trying to become an online influencer. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not chasing your wallet down the street. I worked in the casino industry most of my adult life. I liked meeting new people from all over the planet and talking to them, finding out what are their priorities, what's on their mind, what's going on in their part of the world. I found that very stimulating, and when I retired, I missed it. This show has given me the golden opportunity to get those days back. I can meet people again. I can find out what's on their mind, what they want to talk about. I like it. I find it stimulating. I don't care if they agree with me or not. I still want to hear their opinion. I don't have to fear them. You may fear other people and you may fear their opinions. I don't. I encourage them. Explain it to me. Teach me. If I'm wrong, correct me. Educate me. Please. I welcome your input. I've been learning my entire life. I enjoyed teaching my children, and I enjoy it just as much nowadays when they are teaching me. Okay? I enjoy it. My children are very wise. I like to take credit for how wise they are. Okay? It's nice that they can use their critical thinking. It's nice that they can put their knowledge to use. And it's also nice that they choose to share their knowledge with me. Teach your children until they can teach you. That's my philosophy. It's worked out good in my lifetime. What's your philosophy? What's your opinion? Feel free to jump in the chat, straighten me out whenever I go astray. I welcome your input whenever you're willing to share. It's not required that you share, but it is appreciated when you do. even if we have differing opinions. Giselle Jordan, the star of today's show. I appreciate Giselle. A marvelous, marvelous person for taking the time to share her opinion. Social isolation is hurting people. It is stressful. Human beings need other human beings, whether they realize it or not. Every time you look at your life, I want you to stop and take a minute and realize that everybody did your job. They did their job. You did your job. Everybody worked together and it all worked. Tuesday morning, I went out to breakfast. I was able to go out to breakfast because the cook did his job. The waitress did his job. I went to the grocery store. The grocer did his job. The clerk did her job. Everybody does their job every day. And that's not just in this country. That's worldwide. Everybody does their job every day or they don't survive. We are codependent on one another, whether we realize it or not. I can't go to breakfast if the cook doesn't come in. I can't go to the grocery store unless they ordered and stocked the shelves. I'm depending on them to do their job so that I don't have to hunt, fish, and gather. We are codependent on one another, whether we realize it or not. That neighbor they're telling you to hate, to distrust, that's plotting against you is not plotting against you. He's working right alongside you, whether you realize it or not. He may not be in the same building you're in, but he's working. He's doing his job day in and day out, just like you. We are all working together. I don't care who's telling you that there's people not working. It's bunk. Everyone is working. If you don't work, you don't survive. It's 2025. If you don't work, you do not survive. If you work, you can survive, but you can also thrive. How do we thrive? By working together. When we work together, it all functions. You pick up that salt shaker, somebody had to work in the salt mine. Wasn't you, but you depended on him just the same for that salt to come out of the shaker. Somebody had to work the salt mine. You walk over, you turn your thermostat up. Somebody had to do their job or that thermostat wouldn't work. Everybody's always doing their job. No one's looking for a free ride. No one's trying to just skate by. We're all working. We're all trying to build a future. We're all working as hard as we possibly can all the time. But the people that are trying to divide us into smaller groups are trying to tell us otherwise. That guy wants you to support him. No, he doesn't. He's never going to get ahead if I'm supporting him. He wants to support himself so that he can take pride in his work. He can take pride in what he's building, his family unit. We all work together every day. We just don't realize it. We take it for granted. And you can't learn that. No one is I'm the only one on TV that's telling you to unite. I'm the only one telling you that that guy that's different from you is not your enemy. He's just different. He doesn't hate you. He's not plotting against you. He hasn't even realized that you exist. He's on his own path, building it for his own future. He took you for granted. He didn't stop and think that you were out doing your job every day so that he could have the modern conveniences of life that we all enjoy. He didn't realize it was you. How could he? He doesn't know you. We live in the towns so that we can work together with human beings. When we work together with other human beings, we all succeed. Our workload becomes easier. If we've got a 200-pound log that we need to pick up, and one guy tries to pick up the 200-pound log, guess what? He could fail. If he gets some help, the load becomes easier. He's less likely to fail. Work together with your fellow man. Be tolerant of his differences. Be understanding, be tolerant, be patient. That guy is running by. He may not have time to talk to you today. Maybe he's busy. You don't know what's on his plate. Does that mean you don't say good morning to him tomorrow because you saw him running by today? Say good morning. Odds are he'll give you a nod. He'll say good morning in return. "93% of us are the good guys. There's only 7% that's criminal. Of that 7%, most of those guys are already behind bars. 2 million people in this country alone behind bars. Federal, state, local. They're locked up. That means if 7% of the population can be considered felony criminal, and 2 million of those are already behind bars, that means that your local police force outnumbers your local criminals by a lot. I don't care if you live in Chicago and they have 10 shootings a day. Statistically, your police department, they outnumber the bad guys. If they didn't, they'd get more police. The good guys on this planet outnumber the bad guys by a lot. It's almost 10 to 1. It's 9.3 to 1. 93% of us are not criminals. 93% of us are the good guys. Are you sitting around thinking about robbing a 7-Eleven tonight? I'm not. These thoughts never cross my mind. They never cross your mind. You're too busy leading your life, building for your future, taking care of your family. Your neighbor is not plotting against you. Your neighbor's living his life. Treat him with respect. Don't sit in judgment over him. Treat him with patience, understanding, and kindness. I firmly believe if you're kind to everyone all of the time, that kindness will come back to you tenfold. I firmly believe it's not my place to sit in judgment over my neighbor. It's not my place to tell him how to live his life. I cannot pick and choose for him. It's not my place to micromanage him. I understand he's not plotting against me. I don't hate him. I don't hate anyone. Why don't I hate? Because I control my fears. When you control your fears, you can be rational. When your fears control you, rational thinking is gone. It can't come back until you get control of your fears. Don't let them divide you. Don't let them scare you. Your fellow man, your human being neighbor, is just a best friend you haven't met yet. I guarantee you, when the shit hits the fan, that neighbor will be standing right next to you, shoulder to shoulder, working to rebuild, working to clean up, working to correct all the poor things that are going on. That's why these politicians and these corporations want you to fight. They want you to hate one another because you're easier to control. Break them up, divide and conquer. That's been strategy for centuries. Stop allowing them to do it. Anyone that's telling you that the neighbor is plotting against you is not your friend. He's not on your side. He's got a hidden agenda. He's a liar. People lie to hide their greed, their shame, and their fear. That's why they lie. It could be any one or all three of those reasons, but that's their motivation for lying. They want to hide something from you, namely their greed, their shame for their past actions, or their fears of you. They fear you. If they're trying to hide their fear, what's that tell you? Their rational thinking is gone out the window. They're never going to be rational. They can't think things through. They're too scared. The fear is controlling them. If you're in control of your fears, you can understand this. You can accept this. And then you can eliminate the liars from your life. A lie is a lie, plain and simple. What happens when something is built on a tower of lies? Eventually it crumbles. There's no foundation. There's nothing there that's solid. It's all fictitious. It's all make-believe. If you want to control your fears, first thing you need to do is control your imagination. Stop thinking that man's out to get you. He's not. He's just simply trying to lead his life. If you were patient, if you were understanding, if you were tolerant, he wouldn't bother you a bit. He's not knocking on your door saying, you got to do things my way. So why should you be knocking on his door telling him you got to do things my way? There's no future there. There's no success. You're not going to build anything. All you're doing is you're teaching him it's okay to knock on your door and interrupt your life. When you lash out at him, you're teaching him how to lash out at you. If we're both lashing out, how are we building anything? We're not. We're tearing things down. We're destroying what has been previously built. Don't be afraid of your neighbor. Work together with your neighbor. We can all have a shared interest in a common goal. If you belong to an organization that believes in white supremacy, or one religion is better than the other, or one income level is better than the other, I feel sorry for you. I got to give you some sympathy because you're lost. You're confused. You've strayed from the path. The Civil Rights Act in this country, we're all equals. Accept it. Move forward. You're not better than that other guy. You're the same. Value yourself. Value others. When we value ourselves and we value others, what happens? We become more tolerant. We're able to work together. We're able to build things. Dees, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Dees Nuts. I eat a lot of nuts. I'm currently on the shelled peanuts, the roasted. What are you up to, Dees? Staying out of trouble? It's winter here. I don't know what part of the world you're in, but it's cold and nasty outside. I'm enjoying life. Getting to talk to people. It's wonderful. I think it's going to keep me mentally sharp as I grow older. I'd love to know what's on your mind today. I'd love to know what you want to talk about. The show's called Afternoon Chat. It's Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is an inclusive, free channel. Everyone is welcome. Whether you agree with me or not, you're all welcome here. The only thing we got to do is stay within the community guidelines established by YouTube. Other than that, everything is golden. I don't care what you want to talk about. I'm getting ready to have quesadillas for dinner tonight. I'm going to follow it up with some Rocky Road ice cream. That's the plan anyways. I know it's dead of winter and I'm eating ice cream. I don't. Makes no sense. I like it. I enjoy it. What can I tell you? This weekend, I'll probably bake a cake. I'll lay off the ice cream and just have cake over the weekend. That's my plan anyways. We'll see how it works out. What's going on with you guys today? What do you guys want to talk about? If you want to be able to chat, you got to go to youtube.com and download their Discord app. That's free. The channel's free. No midstream ads. No commercials. No anything hidden behind a paywall. None of that crap. The show's free. You're free to voice your opinion. Free to have your say-so. I welcome it. I enjoy this show. Even on the days that nobody jumps in and chats, I enjoy the show. I have no predetermined topics. There's no script. I don't have a plan. When I hit the start stream button, I don't have a plan. Okay. Nothing has been predetermined. The stars of the show aren't me. The stars of the show are the people in the chat. They're the ones that are willing to share their opinion. They're the ones willing to say, hey. And I appreciate them. I respect them. Live and let live is my philosophy. I honestly believe that if you're kind to everyone all of the time, you'll end up liking the end result. I think that kindness will come back to you tenfold. People are nice. We all have manners. We all say please and thank you. We all know how to smile. That goes a long way in today's society. Holding the door open for somebody else. Yeah. We all do it. We just all take it for granted. We don't notice. Good Samaritans don't seem to make the news. They don't tell us all the good stories. I've been telling the good story happened to a friend of mine, Crumbelina. She was out running errands and she locked her keys and her phone in her car. Stranded. No easy solution. Till the Good Samaritan popped up. The Good Samaritan drove her home so she could get her spare keys. And then he turned around and he drove her back to her vehicle. And then he wouldn't take gas money. He never made the news. He's a hero in my book, right? He went the extra mile. He went the extra distance to help a fellow human being. That doesn't make the news. There are 340 million people in this country alone. One guy will chew up the news doing one thing that was bad. He'll be the whole news cycle. No good Samaritans get in there. You just see the one bad guy. They don't tell you that 999,999 people weren't bad. They want you to believe that everybody is bad, and it's just not the truth. The truth is most of us are good. Most of us aren't planning crimes. Most of us aren't lifelong criminals. The lifelong criminals aren't real. They're on TV. They're fictitious. Lifelong criminals don't exist. They're the rarity. Why? Because they lead a violent criminal life and they get killed. They don't last long. Their life expectancy, if they knew how low it was, they wouldn't be criminals. Let me tell you. Crime pays right up to a point, and there's always a point. Either law enforcement brings you to justice, or the criminal underworld takes its toll and you become another statistic. You were criminal, but you weren't criminal enough. The badder guy took you out. Crime pays right up to a point, but there's always a point where crime no longer pays. Now crime is going to what? Crime is going to make you pay. Yeah. I know. I lived my life. I saw what I did. I saw my mistakes. And when I had to pay my dues, I did. If you watch the news, they're going to make you think that, John Wick is real. And that in the city of New York, there's a million hitmen. And it's just not true. That's not reality. That's not reality at all. The reality is most people are good, and the good deeds don't make the news. People help each other every day, not just in this country, in every country. There are good people. There are good deeds being done time in and time out. They're just not newsworthy. They cannot divide, control, or manipulate you by telling you good news. Think about that. You can go to college. You can get a bachelor's degree in how to scare people, how to manipulate the masses, how to divide and conquer. I'm not going to do it. Sorry, I don't want to control or manipulate anyone. Not in my wheelhouse. No, thank you. I need to be able to look myself in the mirror. I'm not greedy. I'm not selfish. I'm the opposite. I'm patient, understanding, and charitable. I think most people are. If we didn't have charitable people, there wouldn't be charities. Think about it. People are charitable. People are kind. People are patient. People are understanding. People are also knowledgeable. You can believe all this fear mongering that they're doing on the news if you want. I mean, is there crime in the United States of America? Yes, there is. 7% of the population. But you can't step out your front door and hit them with a rock. You can't pick them out of a crowd. You just can't. You may not like the way they dress, but that doesn't make them criminal. Most people are good, not just in this country, but around the globe. All my years in Vegas, I met a lot of people, and a lot of people were nice. From every country. I met Russians I liked. I met Germans I liked. I met Iranians I liked. I met Koreans that I liked. People are good. I don't care if they're trying to convince you otherwise. I realize I'm the only one that's telling you that your neighbor's your friend. I watch the news. I see what they're putting on there. But I'm telling you that they're brainwashing you into thinking that everybody is out to get you, and they're just not. They're not out to get you. They're leading their own life. They're taking care of their family. They're building for the family's future. They're doing the same things you're doing. They're just doing it in a different way. They've chosen a different path than yours. That doesn't make them bad guys. That makes them normal. We all have common ground, but at the same time, we are all unique individuals. We need to understand that. We need to live and let live. Be patient with one another. Your anger and your hatred build nothing. They get you nothing. They get you nowhere. It's the opposite. Your anger and your hatred can tear your life to shreds. Your anger and your hatred means you're not in control, means your emotions are in control. Adults control their fears. Adults control their emotions. Yeah, I finally got to the Gatorade. Better late than never. Adults control their fears. Adults control their actions. If you're that angry, you're not going to be in control of your actions. Your actions will themselves be destructive. If you control your emotions, if you control your anger, if you control your fear, you're going to be much more successful, and you're going to live a better life, better quality of life. Stress is killing people all around the globe. You want to eliminate your stress? Easiest way is to be happy. Stop sitting in judgment of others. That stress you feel, that mental anguish, is not good for your health. They proved it years ago. They hooked electrodes up to humans and they had them play a game of chess. The harder the game got, there were physical changes that happened to the people that were playing. They felt stress, their heart rate quickened, their breathing got shallow, they started to perspire. Your mental balance will affect your physical health. Deal with that stress. Change what you can and accept the rest. You can't beat yourself up. You got to value yourself. You got to respect yourself. Deal with your mental issues so they don't become physical ailments. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. I'd love to hear your opinion. That's why the show's here. The show's called Afternoon Chat. It's Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. An inclusive channel, not an exclusive club. We welcome everyone. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. I will be back tomorrow at 3. The Friday show is usually the best of the week, so don't be square. Join the show. The only thing you can do wrong is not follow the community guidelines that YouTube has established. As long as we stay with those community guidelines, everything is golden. I appreciate the people that chatted today. Giselle Jordan, D's Nuts. Thank you for your time. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing your time with me. Like and subscribe if you could. It's supposed to help the algorithm in some way. With that being said, have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be nice to everyone. You'll like the end result. See you tomorrow.